Surprisingly, the guys were very energetic, and I was pleased with that. And guys fought through. You can tell a couple of guys weren't used to the weather, but we fought through, and even with the wind. So I was pleased with the energy and the execution.
Bolton not out there? Is he definitely out this week?
Yeah, he'll be out. Yeah, he's a guy, like I said, he could go, but we just made the decision to go with the healthier guy.
Another rotation at O-line with Asiata. What do you expect from him?
I expect him to play strong. He's a very strong player, and as I've evaluated film in the last couple of weeks, I think he's had some of the best footwork that I've seen of an offensive lineman, even to the point that I had to bring some of the DBs in and said, this is the footwork that we're looking for. So he's a technician.
How long do you expect to be without Bolton?
No, he can come back next week. It's just one of those things to where, headed down the stretch, if you can get your guys healthy, get them healthy.
How about the Hawkins, Sholigan, those guys? If you like what you've seen, that they're fully good to go?
Yeah, those guys, they're fresh and they're ready to go. I talked to Sholo not too long ago, and I told him, he's like, what's your plans there? I was like, no, what's your plans? If he steps on the field, I fully expect him to play without leaving the game.
How much does that change things to have a starter that's a Canadian? I mean, does that change everything as far as how you defend when you have a...
Not as far as our ratio. Yeah. The way we set up is, like I said, we play with a number of guys, so we don't have to get caught up in it, and this guy has to be that guy. Sholo's just simply a good player, and he's definitely a great run stopper on the first down.
Of course, it's Calvillo and their receivers. Everybody talks about them. That's what you have to shut down. Where's your confidence level as far as the secondary goes this week?
The one thing we've gone over and we've sat down, and the secondary has to do a good job. And I'm more so concerned about all the different formations and personnel groupings that they're doing than we are the receivers, because they have some guys banged up, and I think that we can play with them. The biggest thing is knowing how to line up them when they're substituting receivers out for the tight ends and all those big old linemen.
Did you like the job that they did the last time when you played them in Montreal?
Yeah, I think we did a pretty good job. I think we held our own. Like I said, I've been around enough to see what those guys can do, and they can really hurt you. But I think we held our own. You're never going to hold those guys without TDs, without catches, and all that. They're a big group, but I think we did a good job on them.
Brent Hawkins is talked to us how hungry he is after, again, missing time because of an injury. Does that bode well for this team, knowing that to get the Calvillo is going to be key for you guys?
That's one of the things. That's a tough job trying to get to him. He's a guy with a very quick release, but to have guys that's hungry and fresh, that's the one thing I always like, to have guys hungry and fresh, and that'll keep him going, and maybe to wear their tackles down to where in the fourth quarter we can really get to him.
Corey, how's Patrick Blumenfeld done so far?
Patrick's a guy that really only has to, there's definitely no concerns there. He's another guy with good footwork, and, I think he's playing well to be as young as he is. And, Chris Sweet loves him, and there's always things for him to improve on, but he's been a pretty good job for us.
Coming into the season, did you envision him as a tackle? Did you envision that building as it did?
I always thought he was a tackle just because of his length and his size. I don't think he's one of those bigger physical guards in there. I think that he's looks more like an athletic basketball player because he doesn't have those big calves and all that. He has more of those speed type calves, so he's a very athletic player.
You always like to talk about depth. Do you see something very similar with Montreal, because they've had injuries to the receiver? They're with their third starting running back, yet they still were able to move the ball.
Yeah, like I said, if you do a good job of building your depth, then you don't sit and say, hopefully in the next 2 weeks when we get such and such back, we can win. And I think, like I said, they've done a good job, and I think the young guys that they've brought in have been hungry. And I think that's a positive. That it's not all about vets. That the young guys are getting a chance to play in this league and change the guard a little bit.
Those people believe that the Owls aren't the team they used to be. Are they still dangerous?
Oh, they're still dangerous. And I think Anthony's definitely not Anthony of old. Anthony's a new Anthony, and that's what I even told the defense. I said, you can't defend him like you did 6 years ago. They're doing things now to make sure it suits him for what he is, and he knows that his game has changed, and he's changed his game. So but he's wise enough to know that how to change his game to where he's still effective.
What do you see him changing then, that in video, that you can clearly see that he's maybe different from maybe, say, 3 or 4 years ago?
I'm not going to tell you that. Yeah. I'm going to talk to me after the game. Yeah. Go ahead. Thanks, Master.
Coming into the year, you have 2 important tackles. Was it just a matter of Patrick playing so well that he forced you into a ratio change there? Was he just that good once he got the chance?
It was just one of those things to where we knew that he can do it. And, coming out the gate probably wasn't as sure about it. But then as we saw, it was like, he's pretty good, and that allowed us to do some things in other places. Like I said, now we don't worry about who's in, who's where, what has to be, unless we go to a certain package instead of our starters. So, it was a plus by him being a ratio changer.
How much is your record allowing you to do some of the roster moves you're doing and being willing to put Fulton on the sideline and Sholigan and Hawkins?
We're 3-0, 5-game losing streak, 5-game win streak. We still make changes. It's not the record. That's just the philosophy that the next guy up has to be able to play. And, you know, Asiata wouldn't be here if I didn't think that he can play as well as Xavier.